Okay, welcome back again.
Yes.
We start with Jainism. It's a little bit familiar to us, but not exactly. So, Jainism, one of the religions that is practiced in India and some other parts of the world. Jainism is an ascetic religion of India that teaches the immortality and pilgrimage of the soul, denies the existence of a supreme being, and emphasizes the art of non-violence. This is quite interesting. For me also, it is very quite interesting to know some of the features of Jainism. I know a little bit, but not exactly. But after studying this, I came to know more. So mostly we discussed every religion talks about a supreme being who is up in the sky. But it is quite interesting. Jainism denies the existence of a supreme being, but emphasizes the art of non-violence. As Dr. Alexander said, extreme non-violence. On the streets, we might have seen, you might have seen, but I have seen several times, they cover like, what we have the mask now. Now we are having the mask, but they used to have from the beginning, even they don't want to swallow any insects or anything, such extreme non-violence. It is an ascetic religion. So they teach us immortality and pilgrimage of the soul. Jainism responds to Hinduism and rejection of caste system. Particularly Buddhism and Jainism came as a revolt to the Hindu philosophical understanding of caste. Mahavir is the founder. So Mahavir is the founder or the last of 23 founders. Tirthankaras, fort builders are crossing builders. So founders and Tirthankaras. Tirthankaras, fort builders are crossing builders. These are the Tirthankaras. So the origin of Jainism, the exact place where Jainism started is not confirmed, but India is most commonly referred to as the place of origin. Jainism as a religion was at various times found all over South Asia, including Sri Lanka and what are now Pakistan, Bangladesh, Burma, and Afghanistan. Jainism started out in the 6th century BC, prior to Buddhism, as a protest against the overdeveloped rituals of Hinduism. During that time, a lot of rituals. Jainism came as a revolt to the ritualism of the rituals of Hinduism or the Hindutva. The actual date is still questioned by several scholars, but it is believed that it started no earlier than 850 BC, 7th century to in between 7th century to 5th century. But exact date is questionable. Jainism is an ancient religion from India that teaches that the way to liberation and bliss is to live lives of harmless and renunciation. Attaining that liberation and bliss is to live lives of harmless and renunciation. The more you live a life of harmless, you are closer to the liberation. The more you renounce yourself, you are close to the bliss. That's the reason they practice extreme non-violence. They don't want to harm any insect or any life. The essence of Jainism is concerned for the welfare of every being in the universe and from the health of the universe itself. Some good concepts. The essence of the core and the essence is concern for the welfare of every being. Mahatma Gandhi took some of these concepts into his philosophy. Gandhian philosophy, when I studied, still I remember those for my religious studies. He talks about Sarvodaya and Antyodaya. Sarvodaya, concern for the welfare of all. Antyodaya, welfare to the till the least person in society. So Jains are very ethically, they are very strong, and they practice and they contribute to the society for the welfare of every being in the universe and the health of the universe itself. They are very much called eco-friendly. They don't harm the trees also. Right. The history of Jainism. Jainism doesn't have a single founder. Religious truth has been revealed at different times by a Tirthankara. Like Sikhism, they have gurus, 10 gurus. So in Jainism, they have a Tirthankaras, which means a teacher who shows the way. Other religions call such a person a prophet, particularly in Islam and Christianity, we see prophets. So similar type of role can be played by these Tirthankaras. As great omniscient teachers, Tirthankaras accomplished moksha and then teach others how to achieve it. So Tirthankaras, when they were on earth, they achieved moksha. They already attained to that realm, and then they teach others how to achieve it. What they experienced, they teach others. The founders of Jainism, as we continue to discuss, as I said, there is no one founder, but 24 Tirthankaras, 4 maker, great teachers. These 24 Tirthankaras are great teachers, going back countless thousands of years before recorded history. Mahavira, great hero, the 24th and final Tirthankara, reformer of ancient Jainism. The final Tirthankara, the 24th one, was the reformer of ancient Jainism. Nataputta Vardhamana lived 599 to 529 BC in northeast India. The 24th Tirthankara. 30 years as student, never married. 12 years as ascetic, renunciant. 30 years as a spiritual teacher, as a Tirthankara. As I said, this is a religion of asceticism. So 30 years he was a student, and 12 years as an ascetic renunciant, and 30 years as a spiritual teacher, altogether 72 years. Let's look at Tirthankaras. Appears in the world to teach the way to moksha or liberation, not an incarnation of the God. These Tirthankaras were also human beings, but they attained moksha while they were here, and they are not an incarnation of God. Great omniscient teachers who lived at various times in man's cultural history. Accomplished the highest spiritual goal of existence. Each new Tirthankara preaches the same basic Jain philosophy. All the 24, they teach the same Jain philosophy. 24 Tirthankaras during this present age. During this present age, 24 Tirthankaras. Swetambara Jains believe that Tirthankaras can be men or women. But Digambar Jains believe that women cannot be Tirthankaras. So here is a question: the ordination of women in Christianity. There are a lot of questions. Can a woman be pastor? Can a woman be ordained? Even every religion, there is a kind of discussions between this male dominance and female. So particularly in the Jainism has two different sects. One is Swetambara and the other one is Digambara. Swetambara means they have the dresses, but Digambara, they don't have a dress. You see here and there completely naked Jains. Swetambara Jains believe that Tirthankaras can be men or women because they have that dress. But Digambara Jains believe that women cannot be Tirthankaras. So this is the difference in their theological understanding. Tirthankaras, let's look at again. Parsha, 4 of the 5 Jain principles. 4 of the 5 Jain principles. Parsha means Jain principles. Number 1, Mahavira, not the founder of Jainism, world's most ancient Tirthankara, and will be the last one in this age, like a Kalki in Hinduism. Born as Vardhamana in northeast India in 599 BCE. I'm just brushing up the memory again, what we have looked at. Again, we are going back and seeing. A prince, the son of King Siddhartha and Queen Trishahala. The uniqueness of Jainism and Buddhism, both, we see the noble people getting engaged in the mission and preaching. Buddhism, we see Siddhartha himself, and here a prince, the son of King Siddhartha and Queen Trishala, live a life of an ascetic or a sadhana, extremely long, arduous periods of fasting and meditation, long fasting and meditation, attained Kavalyan, enlightenment. After having long meditation, Vardhamana attained enlightenment, taught the path he had discovered to other seekers. Mahavira added the principle of charity, which was not there, established a community of 14,000 monks and 36,000 nuns before he died. A great Jain missionary we see here. In his 30 years of service, established a community of 14,000 monks and 36,000 nuns before he had died. Some scholars say most of these 14,000 and 36,000 people are comprised of noble people from the palaces and from the landlords, high noble people in the society. So Jainism, as we continue to discuss, one Tirthankara was Mahavira. I think I have discussed all this. History we have looked at, founded by Mahavira in the 6th century BCE. Let me skip some of these. Parshva, 23rd Tirthankara. We have finished 20, we are going backward. 23rd Tirthankara, he was in the 9th century BCE. Mahavira and Parshva. Once Mahavira, recognized as Tirthankara, probably inherited Parshva's followers. So key features of Jainism. We see here the rock image of 24 Tirthankaras. You see on the rock, if it is mobile, it's difficult for you, but it's a computer, a big laptop or a desktop, you can see. So you see 24 Tirthankaras, 1, 2, 3, 4, 24. Tirthankara looks like this most of the time, meditation, dhyan. On the left side, you see Mahavira picture. And pardon?
On phone, you can enlarge the stone. You can see the figures there.
But Prakash, are you talking with me or somebody else?
I'm talking with you.
But Prakash, are you talking with me?
Yes.
But I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Only some.
Now,
Your earphones have some problem. You talk without earphones, then I can hear.
hello.
Yeah, now I can hear.
Okay. The stone which you have shown in the picture,
No,
if it
again,
is enlarged, you can see the figures there.
I don't know. I can't hear you. There is some problem.
Hello.
Can somebody hear him?
Hello.
By enlarging it, na, we can
Can't hear him properly.
But Prakash, there is
Hello.
some problem with your earphones. Pull out earphones from the mobile as well as from your ears and talk.
Yes.
Now
I
you,
pull on.
yeah.
Can
Now,
you hear me?
now I can hear you. Whenever you talk, you please pull out completely from the mobile as well as from the ears. Then you talk. We can hear you now. Tell me.
Okay. Okay. The picture which you have shown of the stone, a big stone,
Mm-hmm.
if it is enlarged on phone even,
Okay. Yeah.
then you will get the figures on those stones.
Yeah. I'll post it. Maybe later you can see that. Just
Okay.
I'm just okay. That's thank you, brother. So right, you
Okay.
see Mahavira on lion throne. Right. Let's continue. Key features of Jainism. Vardhamana Mahavira is the most important figure in Jainism, as he was the last in line of the Tirthankaras, as I've already said. He grew up in India, where Hinduism was the dominant religion. He accepted the aspects of Hinduism, but felt that some changes needed to be made. Particularly, this Jainism and Buddhism evolved out of Hinduism. As I said, they are the revolting spirit to Hinduism. They accepted some other features, but they felt the need of revival. It was he, the Vardhamana Mahavira, who built up the Jain church and laid such a firm foundation for it that it has existed almost unchanged for more than 25 centuries. This is the Jain temple. These are the people who look like Jains. We see here and there. Even I see on Hyderabad roads and Bangalore, people walking like communities. Mostly they live as communities, not one or two. They move 3, 4, 5 like this. They cover the head and the mouth and they walk. There are about 4 million Jains today. Most of them lay people. Historians consider Jainism to have been founded by Mahavira as a reaction to the conversionist Brahmanism of the 6th century BCE. In general, they do not accept the Hindu scriptures or rituals, but they do share a belief in the transmigration of souls. Transmigration of souls. The most obvious characteristic of them is their devotion to the principle of ahimsa. Principle of ahimsa or non-violence. Monks wear a veil. Let me unmute. Let me mute. So monks wear a veil. You see here on the left side. Even lay people forbidden to drink after sunset. Why after sunset? After sunset, you don't know, as you're drinking, some insects, mosquito may go inside. You cannot kill mosquito. Even after sunset, They don't go out because they may stamp. It's very extreme ahimsa. So Jains are followers of the Jain. Jains are the followers of Jains are Tirthankaras. Jain means Tirthankara. The four makers who reveal the path to moksha, as I already said. Okay, Mahavir is the 24th one. He died in meditation and became a liberated soul. Particularly a contemporary of Buddha, Mahavira renounced the world at the age of 30. And after 12 years, he was a wandering ascetic, achieved enlightenment. He then converted 12 disciples who structured his teachings into the Jain scriptures. This is questionable. A lot of people say he converted 12 disciples. Not sure whether they got this idea from the biblical story, but I went through a lot of others. Most of them say this is there in the literature, and we are not sure exactly why 12 disciples. He died in meditation and became a liberated soul. Because of all these confusing figures, some people say Jesus came to India between his after 12 between 12 to 30 years, and he learned all philosophical systems of Eastern religions like Buddhism, Jainism, and Hinduism, and went back and modified. And a lot of made-up stories comes up now and then in several articles and newspapers and news. They make up all those stories. What is Jainism? At least 2,500 years old, this, followed by 3-4 million people, mostly in India. Life affirming, but world denying. Seeks to release the soul from the round of rebirth. You know, the Hindu philosophical system also can be seen here, the rebirth. To liberate spirit from matter. Ahimsa, non-violence is the hallmark of the spiritual discipline. No creator God for them. Spiritual life is primarily moral rather than ritualistic. So one good thing about these Jainism and Buddhism is they rejected rituals of Hinduism. So spiritual life is primarily moral, not ritualistic. Okay, why this is coming time and again? Let me see. So major tenets, everything is eternal. There is no all-powerful. Okay, let me see. Some text is popping up. Some people says Jains stayed in Kashmir, has children. What is Kashmir has children? Okay, yeah, brother Chekuri, all the way from Kashmir. Okay, some
Yeah,
Kashmir.
they say that. Hello, brother.
Yeah.
Some people say that Jesus came to India in Kashmir and stayed there in Kashmir,
Okay, has
and
children.
he has children. Yeah, he has children.
Yeah.
Like that, they say.
Yeah, there are some stories started coming up, and now and then even they say Jesus came all the way from there and then went to China and learned all this Buddhist, and they make up so many stories. Now and then we see on news, they give some kind of historical evidences, this and that. Yeah, a lot of stories are there in our culture. So the major tenets of Jainism, everything is eternal. That's quite interesting. Everything is eternal. There is no all-powerful God that has created the world. It's a kind of self-contradicting. When everything is eternal and there is no eternal. And when a living being dies, it is reincarnated. It's a Hindu philosophy. All living beings have souls. All living beings, even the insects. So the three gems, reverence for the deities. What are the three? Siddhas, Jains, and the 24 Tirthankaras. Vegetarians, particularly Jains, are pure vegetarians. Fruitarianism, mostly they eat fruits. The great vows and the Mahavratas. Mahavarta. So Jain believes karma and reincarnation. They imported from Hinduism. Karma, impurity of the soul that keeps the soul bound to the cycle of rebirth in matter, which is it's almost similar to Hindu philosophy of karma. Karma is built up through actions in this world, thoughts, words, deeds, attitudes. Reduce and eliminate karma so as to achieve moksha, nirvana. They call it nirvana, particularly Jains call it nirvana. So how you get nirvana? Particularly you need to do reduce and eliminate karma so as to achieve nirvana. Release of the soul from the cycles of rebirth. How are we to do this? So reincarnation. As soon as a person or any living being dies, his or her soul is immediately reborn in another life form. Here death, here life. The same day somebody dies, and the same day that dead life enters into the newborn baby. This is a very Hindu philosophy, Hindu understanding. Unlike most views of hell, each stage of hell becomes increasingly colder. Hell is not hot. Hell is a deep fridge, so much frozen. One's stay in hell is not eternal. Once the punishment is sufficient, a person's soul will be reborn into another life form. If people can escape all karma, good and bad, they will be reborn as a siddhas or liberated souls in the highest level of heaven, where they will be eternally happy and separate from the world. Eternally happy and separate from the world. So Jain beliefs of karma. Karma is the mechanism that determines the quality of life. The happiness during a being's present life is the result of the moral quality of the actions of the being in its previous life. In its previous life. Because of this ancient Near Eastern philosophical system, these beliefs might have been prevailed here and there. I think because the beliefs moves from place to place, particularly in the New Testament, we see when this born blind was healed by the Lord Jesus, these Pharisees and Sadducees, some people, they came and asked Jesus, who sinned? Is it he or his parents, or maybe his other people have committed sin? Jesus said, neither he nor they. He is born blind so that the Heavenly Father gets glory. A soul can only achieve liberation by getting rid of all the karma attached to it. Avoiding and removing karma. Karma can be avoided in two ways. By behaving well, so no karma is attached. By having the right mental state, so that even if an action attracts karma, the correct mental attitude of the being means that karma either doesn't stick to that soul. The karma that has built upon the soul can be removed by living life according to the Jain vows. Jain vows. What is Jain activity? Any activity of body, speech, or mind that helps us, number one, develop disinterest in satisfying the desires of our five senses, control over passions, five senses, eliminate anger, ego, deceit, greed, kashya, within ourselves. Buddha was very much influenced by Jain, these teaching, and he little bit modified. So that's the reason he said attaining nirvana or moksha is only get rid of the desire. If you are desireless, then you get it. So he emphasized on desire is the root cause of all evil in the world. So get rid of the desire. That was his Buddhist philosophy. Maybe we learn more when we discuss that. Number three, develop a vision to look for only good in others and completely ignore bad in others. Some of the good teachings. Develop a vision to look for only good in others and completely ignore bad in others. Acharya Haribhadra Surji, 700 to 770 AD, in Darshana Shastra. In Darshana Shastra, he mentioned these three. Key practices and rituals. Number one, meditation. Samayika, they call it. The process of eliminating self-centered thinking and becoming united with the spirit that governs the universe. Meditation. Key practice and the ritual of Jainism. Mantras, number two. The five homages. They call Panka Namaskaris. Five homages are recited on a daily basis, usually in the morning. Another mantra called Ahimsa Vikas helps Jains to pursue a life without violence. Number three, worship takes place at stone temples or at wooden shrines near the house, which resemble the temple itself. Number four, fasting occurs at mostly festivals and holy days such as Parushaha and Mauna Agyars. Mauna Agyars. For your hearts. So meditation and mantras. Meditation, Samakhya, Samayika, is an integral part of Jainism. The primary principle is meditation. It's an integral part of Jainism. During meditation and worship, Jains often recite mantras or prayers. The most fundamental of the Jain mantras is the Nakya mantra. Nakya mantra. Key practices and rituals. Small brooms are carried to sweep insects away from their path. Some pietic people, they still carry a small broom. And nowadays, they are very small. You will find them, they keep inside, they sweep wherever they want. If they want to sit, they sweep so that they may not sit on the insects. You see the guru sitting and the down, even closing the mouth completely so that when he breathes, insects may not go inside. Jain nuns and monks do not accept food that is not cooked by themselves. They do not physically touch people of the opposite sex, and they wear simple white clothes or even nothing at all. Because Digambaras wear nothing at all. If at all they wear clothes, only pure white clothes, simple white clothes. And the other interesting thing is they don't touch opposite sex. A disciplined life is expected from all believers of Jainism, not only the monks or the nuns. Not only monks and the nuns, everyone. A well-disciplined life is expected, and let me assure you, my friends, they really practice the discipline. Even you don't find it in Christianity, in any other religion. They are so strict and disciplined. Sacred rituals performed at the temple. These are some of the rituals. Puja, Samyak, Namokar mantra. These are the rituals. Birth. There are a few simple rituals that are performed after the birth of a child. Priyodhav Sanskar, 10 days of cleansing during which no rituals are performed. But mantras may be chanted by the priest and offerings received from the child at a temple. By the way, these Jains are so rich people, particularly Jains are so rich. Namkaranam Samskar, the ritual of naming the child, performed on the 11th or 13th or 29th after birth. The name for a boy is selected from the 1008 Janasahasrams. And for girls chosen from the names of the women in the Puranas. Baptism. They also have a baptism. The Jains do not practice baptism. However, they do have rules that must be followed when using water. Water should be filtered before used to prevent harm to living creatures that may be in the water. Look at the extreme ahimsa. Even they're so careful, they filter the water so that the insects may not get in. Some stricter, more spiritual Jains do not bathe and only use water as necessary. It's really extreme. Marriage rituals. Marriage is considered a social contract, not a religious practice. The wedding ceremony may be simple or very elaborate. The rituals performed around the time of marriage vary from one community to another, but are numerous and may include one of the following. Hastamalpa, Melap, these are the marriage rituals. Joining ceremony, priest words to the couple. Totan Pratishta, the goddesses Lakshmi is honored. And Vedi Pratishta, the gods of Kastras are honored. Agni Stapta, Agnistapan, sacred fire ritual offering to the fire god, and so on and so forth. You can read it. So these are the rituals during the marriage. And Lord Adinath was married with this ceremony. Second Abhisheka, priest wishes the couple well, and couple are released, ceremony is ended. Now there are post-wedding rituals. The elders bless the couple. There will be a wedding feast. Bride goes to her new home. Alms are given to a Jain temple and thanksgiving to the gods. When a person dies, death rites. Let's look at the death rites. When a person dies, he or she is cremated as soon as possible, like a Hindus. The body is placed on a burr and taken to a place where it can be burned without harming any living beings. The body is taken from the burr and covered with wood. The body is covered with ghee, camphor, and sandalwood powder. The last rites are performed by the son of the deceased. The son circles the pyre 3 times while sprinkling water on the body. While chanting the Namokar mantra, he lights the pyre. The same Hindu system. After a while, milk is poured over the scorched area and the remains are collected in bags. The remains are placed in whole and sprinkled with salt. The whole is covered and the rituals are over. So as we said, ritual, unnecessary rituals is a new religion, a non-violence, a lifestyle and principle. Most devout become monks, nuns, give up possessions. No possessions. Live outdoors, seek shelter only during rainy months. This is so crazy. They live outdoors, seek shelter only during rainy months, cover mouths with masks, sweep ground to avoid accidentally killing insects. Principles. Most Jains, not monks, nuns, pledge to uphold principles of ahimsa, have careers that do not involve harming of animals. They don't get jobs that harm any animals or insects. Jainism calls for periodic fasting, especially during festivals, on holy days, limiting worldly possessions, as I said again. So Jains promise to tell only truth, avoid stealing, strive to eliminate greed, anger, prejudice, gossip from lives. These things can prevent person from achieving moksha. So Jains believe that Jina, an enlightened being who has conquered material existence and release the soul from the round of rebirth. As I said, they believe in Tirthankaras and Siddha, a liberated soul. The goal of Jainism is to become a Jain. What is the goal of Jainism? To become a Jain. Thus, feeling wants a soul from the material realm. We can all become gods, but these gods do not intervene or respond to petitionary prayer. Jiva, Ajiva. Life-giving spirit is soul, Jiva. So, what is Ajiva? Non-living matter. Jiva and Ajiva. All living beings contain soul and are considered Jiva. Soul trapped in matter. The soul has been trapped in matter. Humans, animals, plants, microscopic life forms trapped in matter, water beings, rock beings, fire beings, air beings, and whatnot, all this. Ahimsa, non-violence to any and all life forms. Intend to do no harm. Strict vigilance. Avoid all meat and animal products, including milk, eggs, fish, and even avoid root vegetables. Yeah, Francis said they don't eat onions. I think they are the blessed people now, and particularly in Telugu states, onion only, it crossed 100 rupees, 120 rupees here, onion. So for them, they don't buy. So they don't eat egg, no milk, including milk, because animal products like milk, curd, buttermilk, no. It's very difficult. I'm not sure how they survive. Aparigraha, non-attachment, no attachment to anybody. Anekantwad, non-hatred. hurt no one. Asceticism, to live a monastic life detached from this world and society, a life of poverty and chastity. Unique teachings of Jainism: God is not a creator, preserver, or destroyer of the universe. But who? Every living being has a potential to become God. Path of liberation is to follow rational perception, rational knowledge, and rational conduct. Conquer your desire by your own effort to attain liberation. That's the thing. Conquer your own desire by your own effort to attain liberation. This is the Jaina teaching. Unique teachings of Jainism: number one, universal love, ahimsa, anekantwad, non-absolutism, aparigraha, non-attachment. These are the uniques of Jainism. Jain hand is the emblem of the Jainism. Like Christianity has a cross, Hinduism has a lotus, Jainism has hand. Jain hand is the emblem of the Jainism, which symbolizes ahimsa, non-violence. The wheel in the center is the wheel of samsara. The world in the center of the wheel reads stop. You see, the wheel reads stop. Okay, ahimsa. Ahimsa is disciplined behavior towards every living being. Absence of violence of any sort towards all beings at all times in ahimsa. Yoga Sutra. Okay, in its absolute definition, ahimsa is the absence of evil thoughts, feelings, or attitude. That's the root cause. They address the root.